Today we're going to review the process of re-slinging our St. Catherine H030 Supreme Height Sling Chair. The tools required for this process are going to be a 7/16 driver, a 5/16 driver, a rubber mallet, our telescope spreader tool, a pair of angled cutters, a flathead screwdriver, and our telescope sling starters. So I'm going to start by removing the tension from my existing sling. I'm going to do that using my 7/16 driver in 6 locations, 4 here and 2 in the front. I have a 7/16 fastener holding my seat bucket to my leg assembly. I'm going to back each one of these out about 1/2 inch. You'll notice I'm going to leave those installed in the leg assembly. I'm just backing them out about 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to flip the chair over so that I can access the 2 in the front, and I'm going to do the same thing there. Now once I've got those 6 7/16 fasteners backed out, I'm going to go to my 5/16 driver, and I'm going to back out one side of the 5/16 fasteners that hold on this stretcher bar. I'm going to completely remove that fastener and set it aside. Now I'll flip the chair up, and I'm going to do the same thing here and here. I'm going to remove one of these 5/16 fasteners completely and set it aside. You'll notice the 5/16 fastener that we use across the top here is slightly longer than the 2 that we use on these spreader bars. You'll want to note that when you reinstall those screws. Now I'm going to go to my telescope spreader tool, and in close proximity to each one of these stretcher bars, I'm going to place the tool, I'm going to apply pressure down, and I'm going to lift that bar up and out of the way. And do the same down here. And then we'll flip the chair up and do the same underneath. We can set the bar aside. Now, we've successfully removed all the tension from the existing sling, and we're ready to take this out and put our new sling in. So for this part of the process, I'm going to move the chair down to the floor. Working on the floor is going to give me a little more leverage. We're removing the existing sling and installing the new one. Now I'm going to go to my flathead screwdriver. I'm going to remove the seat rail caps from the top of my seat rails here. I'm going to set those caps aside. Now, pulling up evenly on each side, I'm going to remove this existing sling. Now I'll take my telescope sling starters and I'll place them into the ends of my seat rails. And I can grab my replacement sling. I'm going to locate the telescope label so that I can ensure that I'm installing the sling properly. I want the label in the top left when I'm looking at the back of the chair. I'm going to start each side of the sling evenly, and I'm going to, holding on to the dowel up here with my fingers, I'm just pinching and pushing that sling down through. Now, once this sling hits the second bend in the seat, it's going to get a little more difficult to push through from up here. What I could do is I could take both my hands, I can sandwich them on each side of the sling at this bend, and I can push down. Then I can come over here and I can do the same. You want to try to push the sling down evenly, but by bypassing pushing through this bend, it's quite a bit easier and the sling will slide much smoother to sandwich it between your hands and push from this bend. We're just going to push it till it makes it all the way down and contacts our seat rail caps in the bottom. We can pull off our sling starters. Now if we have any excess dowel, sling dowel, sticking out beyond our seat rail extrusions, we can cut those off with our angled cutters. Now I'm going to go to my rubber mallet and I'm going to reinstall my seat rail caps. So once our sling is installed and our seat rail caps have been reinstalled, we're ready to put the chair back up on the table and put the sling under tension. So I'm going to go back to my 7/16 driver first, and I'm going to run all 6 of these 7/16 fasteners back into the leg assembly. Then we'll flip the chair forward. We'll tighten up these as well. Once we have all our 7/16 fasteners tight, we can go back to our 5/16. First, I'm going to place this stretcher bar by putting my tool in close proximity to it, applying pressure down, and then lining up the hole in the stretcher bar with the hole in my frame. These are going to be the shorter of our 2 5/16 fasteners. One's going to go here. Then we can spin the chair right around. And we can line up this bar. Again, this is going to be the shorter of our 2 5/16 fasteners. And then last, we'll put our stretcher in the top here. So we'll put our tool in close proximity to the bar, line up that hole. This is going to be our longer of the 5/16 fasteners. Once we've got that spreader in, that completes the re-sling process of our St. Catherine H030 Supreme Height sling chair.